The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon of you. If I can make it on time, past a moonlit state line, I roll a diesel right on through.
From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Larry Show. Are you ready? What you are about to experience to the world is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, the Glenn Larry Show.
And I am with you, everybody. I do bid you welcome wherever you may be, whatever time zone that you're in. And to all my friends out there, the ham operators and the Worldwide Radio Club, I say hello to you. K6RCL, Dennis in Goleta, California, I say hello to you. Also, the midnight drivers and night drivers, I say hi, hello, and thank you for tuning in. To all my affiliates out there, radio stations and small broadcasters, small low-powered FM, AM stations, hello, and thank you for tuning in. Yes. To all you guys on Facebook, YouTube, friends, please do subscribe and like us. We need all those. We can get all those little points we can get to our broadcast. People tune in for us, and the podcasters out there also. Let me say thank you very much. We've been heard all over the world, and I've heard that you're enjoying the show on these different podcast channels. And we have to add them up every night, but we're doing quite well. The numbers are starting to rise, So whatever time zone you're in, spread the word to all your friends that we are here, the Glenn Larry Show. Yes, Larry Glenn Anderson, Glenn Larry. We know that. Yeah. I've had a great week. I've been very, very busy trying to get some things done around the station and what have you. Run around. I've been trying to get guests coming up for the next shows and try to keep everything interesting for you, the momentum going and what have you, I want to say hello to Neil and Barbara in London. Yes, they called me the other day. Hello back to you. And Kennedy in Florida. I guess I got a visitor down there. His name is Randy. I hope they're having a good time. They got a gator down there. I've seen pictures of it. And that big old gator comes out of it. Well, I'm going into it. They don't want to go anywhere. So for sure. Tonight we're talking about UFOs, UAPs, recovered engineering programs, crashed retrievals, and non-human technology, and hoaxes may be coming up with alien attack invasions may happen. It's all going to be a hoax. Look forward to that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that the government can do this, and our technology has gone so far. And let me say something that sometimes we say, hey, that's real. So now if you see a bunch of angels riding horses in the sky, and they're not coming towards you, but it looks like they're galloping. It's a hologram, okay? There was a village, I guess, that in Africa. They freaked out about that. It can be very, very scary. I do agree. Yeah. But you'll see some odd stuff going on, colors and all sorts of things. They're experimenting, see how we will react to all this stuff, what we're going to do. Oh, my goodness, we're going to get a hole and run. I don't hope not. Oh, my gosh, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be sitting here doing radio, talking about it. So you guys can enjoy that. Yeah. Want to say a little shout out to the folks. You remember this gal? She's fantastic. I go to her restaurant over there in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. She's at 717 West Baltimore Pike, I think it is, and it's called the Creekside Diner. Yeah, and I had a Gray's breakfast, Gray's lunch over there. She's a great gal. She really supports EMS and fire and police, and of course, K-Ghost. We got to say her thank you for that. If you want to make reservations, come down and see her. She gets great food, and she's my friend, and I told her I'd give her a shout. I try to do it every show. Her number is 610-925-2826, and that is Creekside Diner and Kennett Square. That's 717 West Baltimore Pike, I believe. Yeah. So do check her out. I got my free birthdays coming up, a couple years worth, so I got to get over there and start using them. I'll tell you for sure. Well, I'm going to have a gentleman on the line. His name is Stephen. He has a quite an interesting story about his thoughts on UFOs and some other things he's going to bring up. He's quite the gentleman to talk to. And I asked him, would you like to be on the radio? I heard he's writing a book, but he's not telling me much about it. We'll see. But Steve, are you there? Steve?
Yeah, Larry, how you doing tonight?
I am doing just fine. And I want to thank you for coming on. It was hard to get a hold of you. You've been pretty busy yourself.
Oh, hey, my pleasure. Anytime, Larry. It's always nice to talk to you and talk to your wonderful audience out there. And
we are going
to
open the lines up about at the bottom of the hour. So hit it, buddy. It's all yours. I won't even put the brakes on for you.
Okay.
So go ahead, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so, you were talking about holograms, and I've often wondered if I had been a victim of a government hologram or not, because years ago, there was an instance, as a matter of fact, we were traveling from Las Vegas over to West Virginia in a moving truck, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me, my son, and my ex-wife. And we were driving down the road. She was in a hurry to get to West Virginia because, with those moving trucks, the longer you have them, the more money it costs. So we proceeded to continue to drive all night long. And we found ourselves in the wilderness of Kentucky at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was just us on the road in the moving truck. And Larry, I promise I hadn't had anything to drink, not even a little shot, not even a drop.
Not even a drop. Okay, I believe you. I'm going to go for it.
So this really happened. As we were driving down the road, I glanced over to the right, and I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye.
Uh-huh.
And then I looked at the road, and then I looked again. And what I saw was unbelievable. It was a deer's body with the torso of a man, and it had a beard and ram's horns.
A deer's body and a face like a man's and deer horns. Ram horns.
Yeah. So it had the body of a deer, the torso of a man. It looked like the Greek mythology, the Minotaurs.
Wow.
Except that the body was that of a deer. It wasn't that of a horse. And the horns they looked like a big horn sheep's horns, curled around like that.
Interesting.
And these red eyes were glaring at us. And I glanced at it, and then I glanced away. And I wasn't going to say anything. And then my son says, Daddy, what's that? And I said, what do you see? And he said, I see, he described it perfectly. The ram's horns with the glaring eyes full of hatred, actually. And my ex-wife was looking over in the same direction. She said, "What are you talking about? I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all." So she couldn't see it for some reason. But me and my son, we looked at it, and I'll tell you, I got a feeling of horror and dread as we drove by it, whatever it was. It could have been a hologram. It could have been
Well,
a
how
hologram.
close did you get to this
I'd
thing
say
you
we
call
were at the closest point that we passed it, probably maybe 20 feet, 25, 30
Gosh.
feet.
Did you take any pictures at all?
Nope, didn't take any pictures.
Darn it. That might have worked out really good.
But I did research it a little bit, and years later, trying to find out actually what it was, and it turns out that there's something called the New Jersey Devil, and some other people have reported seeing the same exact entity, except up towards New Jersey.
Interesting.
If you can believe that.
I've heard of it. It's quite a scary beast itself, apparently. It's pretty serious. It's a folklore, as they say, but every time there's a problem with a town or fire, a real bad thing happens in the area, it just appears, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know, quite what it was, but it could be a government cover-up, like a hybrid. Could have been an entity from a UFO. Could have been a spiritual being. But I can tell you, without a doubt, it was there. So I don't know if it was a portent of bad luck or not. We didn't really have any bad luck. Thank goodness.
How'd your you had your wife and child with you?
Yes. Yep.
How'd they react to it?
Oh, my son was really stressed out about it and unnerved. And my ex-wife, she didn't see it at all.
Huh. Wow, that's crazy, man. Really crazy.
So I don't know. Maybe some of your listeners in your audience might have seen something like that. It's amazing the type of things that are out there, like Bigfoot and all that. A lot of people think that those type of apparitions are actually aliens or fallen angels or something. So.
Right. It's quite odd. Well, fallen angels. I mean, angels aren't all pretty, as they say. Have you heard that yourself?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of different types of choirs of angels. What is it, 12 choirs of angels or something like that.
Yeah.
And there, a lot of people think that the UFOs that we're seeing now are their vehicles, either demons or angels. Fallen angels would be, of course, the demons.
Right.
And but Larry, what a lot of people don't think is, if they think that it's just like an angel or a demon, they don't associate it with an alien, right?
No. Some
but the
people
thing
do
of
not.
it
Well,
is,
there might be some religious people out there that, they're all devils, or they're all demons, or But when you see something in the sky, are you thinking that? No, I'm thinking UFO. I'm running.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to take a picture. Everybody forgets to take the picture, So.
Yeah, well, an alien is something that isn't of this earth.
Right.
So, if the angels aren't from this earth, which they aren't, their natural habitat is heaven, wherever, whatever that is, depending on how you believe on a personal basis. It's safe to conclude that they're aliens. They're not from this earth. So that's why I don't understand why so many people have the problem thinking that UFOs, couldn't possibly be fallen angels or angels to begin with.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense because angels and fallen angels are aliens because they're alien to this planet.
Right.
So in the Old Testament, there's all kinds of depictions and stories about wheels turning, and that the old prophets in the Old Testament saw, and all kinds of creatures, and the choirs of angels are all supposed to be different types, and I guess they look differently probably too. So we were created in God's image according to the Bible. So we look like God, and who knows? If they weren't created in God's image, what do they look like? Are they gray? Are they reptilian?
Yeah. What are they? I really I want to believe, I really do. But if they're taking you out of houses and people are being abducted and stuff, and they're being taken away out of, I mean, do angels do that?
I don't know. Some people
do the demons do that?
Some people think that they're interdimensional beings, and they're trying to construct some kind of biological suit to exist on this dimension with.
Huh.
So a lot of people in that field that studied these types of things, they believe the reason the Greys and all that they have scientific experiments on humans is to be able to recreate humans so they can concoct a shell, if you will, of some type, so that they can dwell in it. That type of thing.
I said that they want us. They want us because they can't make themselves, and they're going to create, like you just said, a what do you call it? One of us. They want to take us. They want us to be. They haven't got a soul, so they got to work that out. I guess this is what I've heard from different people on the show and stuff.
Yeah, it's a trip because when I went to Mexico, and I went to a place called Chichen Itza, and there's a pyramid over there. It's called the Pyramid of Kukulkan. It's a Mayan. If anybody out there knows anything about Mesoamerican history, the Kukulkan is the serpent god, the plumed serpent, and in Aztec, mythologically speaking, Quetzalcoatl is the plumed serpent. So it's the same entity, but the different Indian tribes, they have a different name for it. But I'll tell you, Larry, I went to the top of the Pyramid of Kukulkan, and there were some really, really crazy pictures of these entities with these
different cave drawings and different drawings and
different drawings, cave drawings.
Pretty crazy stuff.
It's amazing. Like the ancient alien guys always say, how many similarities there are in the depictions of these.
I get all that, but I say to myself, how come these people can't draw better? I mean, I'm sure someone must have had some talent and natural talent, and they would have chosen a certain person to do these drawings on these caves. I'm saying to myself, how can I always look like crap? I mean, that could be this, and it's always the guy has something big downstairs. I go, what's that all about? Just crazy. I don't know. What does it mean?
Well, a lot of times the priests in the Mesoamerican cultures, they used to eat hallucinogenic mushrooms and peyote and all that, and a lot of people think that they did those cave drawings and everything while they were under the influence, and they could have seen them while they were like on a hallucinogenic mind trip or something.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Unbelievable. So I always think of that when I see it. Why can't they draw better? Gosh.
So the question is, when you're whacked out of your mind, how good can you draw?
Boy, that's a good one. I have not been at that level ever yet in my life. I've tried to walk, but to draw a picture, no, I've not been that bad. Oh, one time I was, I guess, but no. But
Anyway, getting back to the Mesoamerican culture, it's crazy because they have these depictions of this plumed serpent, and you can see the they call them glyphs in with the Mayans.
Yeah.
And they have these things called stelas. They're like story rocks, basically.
Okay.
And what they show this plumed serpent in the sky, and everybody's worshiping it down on their knees and that type of stuff. And the weird thing is, Larry, is that when a spaceship or something comes through our atmosphere and it hits the outside atmosphere, it gets really, really, really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've often wondered if the heat, what they're saying is like a spaceship with the heat coming off of the spaceship, and the plumes that they see in the smoke trail, that's the serpent, is the smoke trail from them re-entering our atmosphere. What do you think about that? That's
interesting. Wow. I am getting a kickback on your Wi-Fi, on your volume. That's okay. This happens once in a while. Hasn't gotten real bad, but that's what cell phones do sometimes. I love landlines, but people don't have landlines hardly anymore. But that's okay. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, interesting. So much has been done. So much has been done. So much has been done with all this stuff. Now, it's 2024, and I'm saying to myself, are these serpents coming back? Are they living in the earth? What's it all about, Alfie, as I would say?
Yeah,
think about it. Now, you hear about these creatures down there in the middle of the earth. They're coming out. They're lizard people. There's been so many reports. You've read that. You've read that stuff yourself. And
well, you were talking about nobody has any pictures, right?
Well, they say they do, but what can you believe anymore? I mean, there's so much fake news out there, fake this, Photoshop, you name it. Now they can do anything. I'm telling you, with these holograms and stuff, and you see stuff on YouTube, Facebook, and what's the real deal? All right.
Yeah, I used to be really, really skeptical about all of that stuff myself, but I did see what I told you.
Yes. Now that there, I believe you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but also, I had a friend of mine. His grandfather was a World War II pilot.
Okay.
And he flew with, I think it was the 415th Night Fighter Squadron. And I was talking to him one time, and he said, Steve, those Foo Fighters that they were out, he said, I believe in aliens. They would follow us around here, there, everywhere. And I said, Jack, what's a Foo Fighter?
Oh, really? You didn't know what that was?
Yeah, he was telling me that it was like a aerial phenomenal in World War II, like in 1944, that used to fly around with the pilots. Right. And I looked that up online, and I actually saw some really good pictures of them. And a lot of people think that it was some kind of phenomena, that the Germans had some secret
cloaking
weapon
thing that would follow them along. Yeah. They thought it was some type of a mirage, or that was a reflection. And then when they started doing things ahead of them and moving around them, they said, maybe they were saying, boys, don't make the mistake of bombing this and bombing that, or maybe at a point where we had nuclear things, and we had some nuke stuff going on, trust me. But yeah, now that's been said then. Now what's going on now? Our pilots now are seeing these Tic Tacs and all this other stuff coming up in these flying saucers on the side. Do you think it might be the whole thing? They're all together saying, hey, slow down. What are you doing? Slow down. What's your thought on that?
I wonder.
You think maybe? I think we're at a dangerous point, and I think that they know what's going on our politics on this earth. I think they know what's going on with our water, our earth, planet Earth itself. and what we're doing in space. I mean, come on. We are that beautiful planet out there, and we're destroying it from the inside out. And it's unbelievable what we're doing.
Well, I'll tell you, Blair, I talked to this guy, this elderly gentleman. He was the pilot, and he told me, he said, yeah, these things would move independently and in formation.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that there were, the Foo Fighters used to follow the Allied planes and the Access planes. It was almost like a space war on a spiritual basis, I guess you would say.
They're called the Watchers, I believe.
Ah.
How's that sound? The Watchers.
Yes.
And they are watching.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I really believe, Steve.
And they had that Battle of Los Angeles. Did you ever see that? The picture for the you know the one I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I've seen
with
that.
The spotlight.
Mm-hmm. All the spotlights shooting up to the sky, and that really took place. And I don't know why, when things like that have happened, that people come out, that never happened. Oh, come on. It's been written up. It's widely known. It's been public newspapers and the whole thing. So it's just pretty darn crazy. And so much more, so much more coming out. But now, like I told you before when we first started the show, that because there's so much going on right now, there's so much stuff coming out. But what can you believe and not believe? I know the disclosure guys, the Congress, the Senate, and all this stuff, they're all talking about all this stuff, Congress. And you've got the testimonies of all these people, human beings. We need to know what's really going on, but not our secrets. We don't want the enemy to know what we're doing. It's, I have this, you have that. Maybe they have more than we have, and they're saying nothing. And it's all in the sky. We have nothing to do with it. Some of the stuff is our technology. And people don't realize we've been doing this since, the 40s and on up. And I think we know a little more that we are putting on. I think people don't realize that we've got a lot going on. I'm not in fear in space about anything. I think we can take care of problems up there. But on Earth, I think we slipped back a little bit in our military. I don't want war. No, who wants war? One guy pushes a nuke. I'm going to show you my nuke, and it just keeps growing. It's terrible. I'll need to go to commercial. We're at the bottom of the hour. And when I put up, folks, and I put up the you may call in, you'll know. But Steve, can you stand by for just a second here, sir? We'll be right back.
Sure.
Right after this.
There's no typical meth user. I was from an upper middle class family. Meth is terribly addictive. My first time using it, I was hooked. There was no turning back. I lost my job and I was homeless. I never thought I'd see my family again. I have a great fear of meth because it took so much of me. I mean, it took everything. Meth took over my soul.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Larry.
I'm with Steve on the line here. We're to let you guys know. We're talking about UFOs and what's going on. Are they demons? Are they ghosts? What are they? And we'd like to have some of your folks' comments out there. And I do have a lot of hits on the on our side over here, by the way. I want to thank Canada for being here. I have Montana, Great Falls, and Helena over there. Murray, Idaho. I see Reno. I see Memphis, Tennessee. Provo, Utah. Thunder Bay, Vancouver. Okay. Olympia, Washington, Tacoma. And I also have Portland, Oregon. Oklahoma City. Hello down there. Okay. Numbers just keep growing, folks. I'm going to say hello to Tim and Elko, Joyce and Lacey, Dave and Tumwater. Of course, I'm going to say hi to Fairbanks, Alaska. My goodness gracious, what can I say? Thank you so much for tuning in. That's a lot of people, isn't it? That's great. And it just keeps coming, I'll tell you for sure. I'm reading the comments. This is quite a show. I'm going to open the lines up, everybody. And here we go.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada. Lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Pahrump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275. To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada. Lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
And we aren't taking those calls that you guys folks all know. Steve, so what was your thoughts on that? Do you think that possibly this is all the same guys from the past to the future, the same UFOs that we're dealing with that they dealt with in the 40s? The Foo Fighters, but they're just a little more advanced, or they're just, I think we're seeing more of them because of the media and what we have going in our technology. What do you think?
Yeah, as our technology gets better, we can track things a lot better. You know, they have infrared now, which was in its infancy in World War II, and a bunch of different other types of surveillance techniques with different radioactive gamma ray type stuff,
Right.
for lack of a better terminology.
Yeah. And of course, our SpaceX has come a long ways. There's stuff leaving from Vandenberg all the time, hitting the skies. And there's a lot more payload going up there that we know what it is. I think there's more, may I say, well, that's good for our defense and for science and what have you. A lot's going on. I
think it's going to be really interesting when we finally do return to the moon.
Mm-hmm. I think you might be right
about that.
I think that you might just have something there. We do have a caller. See who we have. Hello, caller. You're on the line. What's your name and where are you from, please?
This is Mark J. Cox from Schenectady, Claire.
Okay, Mark. How are we doing there, my friend?
I'm doing great.
What do you think about all this?
Well, you have to understand, I'm the only one that's landed a UFO on U.S. soil, December 9, 1965, with two cloned and diapered Hitlers with painted on pupils.
So now, Mark, you tell me you were with, one more time now. Let me get this slowly. You have been in two UFOs and the pilots look like Hitler?
No, I landed the only tracked and found intact UFO in history, December 9, 1965, as a 12-year-old.
As a 12-year-old, okay. And what happened after that?
Well, what happens is that was another me that was made by Hitler, because I was kidnapped by Hitler on May 2nd, 1960, from Glenville, New York, where all Antarctic missions start.
Okay.
And
did you
the me that was taken was cloned by Hitler in Antarctica.
Okay.
And one of the me's was landed that craft in Kecksburg and was on the surface of the moon outside our dome and got all the rocks. And I have memory of the device that keeps me alive on the moon's surface. And that device is described in my regression on YouTube. And that device is the same device found at the floor at Chichen Itza, in the floor of El Castillo. Because I'm the time traveler that's at the bottom of El Castillo. And I'm the 2012 apocalypse, August 19th. And I say that on the air of CCC Radio to Ian Punnett in the spring.
Oh, you
that
did?
Night, August 19th.
Now, you know, he passed.
The 11-year-old me that my dream made real. See, that's the apocalypse. We make life as we dream. And I made life as I dreamed, and that life has remade itself over and over and over again.
Okay.
And that's the how of Agent Smith. I'm the living Agent Smith because I'm the only one that's teleported thought on live TV. 8815 and 1123.
Do I call you Agent Smith or do I call you Mark?
You can call me MJ12 because my
little...
grandfather, also known as Morris Ankrum, the actor, in the movie, Earth versus Flying Saucers, he had something put into his head, and that's what I have in my head. I have the bit from Gort in my head.
Wow.
And I am getting information from above ever since the fall of 1968.
Well, do me a favor.
And that's when I began learning about Seth and Jane Roberts.
Okay, 1965, you landed. What is going on at the moon right now? Can you tell me that?
The moon there's only one surface. That's the moon's surface.
Okay.
And we're on the moon right now under
Steve,
a dome.
You got this, Steve? All right. I have Steve on the line. Steve, go ahead. Ask this gentleman a question. Go ahead.
Well, there was I had some pictures. There were some rocks. My sister, back in the 60s, when she was really, really young, she wrote astronaut Ellen Shepard a letter. It was like a school project. And he sent her some pictures. They were big pictures. They were from NASA. The pictures mysteriously disappeared. But I distinctly remember what was in some of the pictures, and this is a fact. There were these colored rocks. They were green rocks. They glowed. And he lifted up a boulder, and there was a picture of these green rocks that were glowing. They looked like those Siloam light sticks, kind of. And then there were red rocks that were glowing, the same thing.
Yeah.
And I guess he said they were moon rocks. So I was going to ask your caller, what are those?
What are they, Mark?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, that's just someone's fantasy.
No, well, he's talking about a moon rock.
Nobody from NASA landed on the moon.
Oh, okay.
So you can't land on the moon unless you get out. You have to go through the dome. And the dome is a machine. And it works in a bath of blue oil, which is our sky.
And I believe that stars are light bulbs.
What they're spraying now in the air are nano engines that are flying upwards and attaching themselves to the inside surface of our dome so that they can change our reality at will.
Interesting. Well, Mark, thank you so very much, and we appreciate the call. And thank you for listening, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, that's interesting concept. Do you agree?
Oh yeah! Wow. I've heard a bunch of stories that people have said regarding our trips to the moon that they were in fact a hoax, and your caller seems to kind of give credence and reinforce that a little.
Right. Well, I'm gonna give the number out again here.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
Well, you were going to say something what you thought about what's going on the moon before we took that call. Now we're going to we're back at the moon. We didn't land so well, but we got some pictures and we got some data apparently. That was quite expensive for that spacecraft to get up there. Do you know? And it landed wrong, and that's a lot of money, man. I wonder who's the next money person's going to be to send something up. We're going to take this call. Bear with me with that question, my friend. Hello, caller. Thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you from, please?
It's Ken from Florida.
Hi, Ken from Florida. How are you, my friend? And how's things going down there?
Well, they're going pretty nice. The weather's starting to get warm. It's turning around on us down here.
And Ken, what do you think about our last caller?
It wasn't bad, but I want to change the subject there a little bit.
All right, we can do just briefly.
About the UFOs.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Nobody wants to believe that theory, but I'm telling you, there's a laboratory on Cameron Street in Harrisburg where I seen the mutilation of horses and cattle taken there and put in a core. Now, that happened in Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
And that same identical thing happened here in Florida. No blood. They took all the blood, the guts, and that happened up in Pennsylvania.
Was this an animal? You say animal? Was it a cow, horse? What
it was cows and was horses.
Cows and horses.
I took my wife there one time at night because I was told you'd leave the light on in the core. And when she looked in there, she said, "You never bring me back to this place anymore."
Interesting.
But I wanted her to know that what I seen back in '67 was real. But like I said, I've never seen anything like that since that.
Right.
But that same identical thing happens to the horses and cattle here in Florida.
My gosh.
They find them dead in the fields.
Yeah. And their tongues removed and certain things are removed, and it's so precise. It's like it was done with a laser type of situation.
Yeah, and I know it happened in Pennsylvania because I've seen it with my own eyes, and I know it's happened here in Florida.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what would be out there that would do something like that if it wasn't something alien, and what the purpose would be, I don't know, Larry.
I do not know either. It's been going on for years, since the 60s. Pretty crazy. Maybe beyond that, but farmers would, the body would rot or something.
But I've been all over the states, and I hear a lot about Bigfoot, but I figure with all these hunters, thousands and thousands and thousands every year, nobody's ever shot one.
No, isn't that crazy?
So
they say, well, up in Washington State, I think there's a law that says you can't shoot one because you might get some guy in a ghillie suit or some guy dressed up like and you just shot a human being, murdered a human being. So how are you going to handle that? I don't know, but yeah, it's crazy, huh?
But I'm telling you, if people don't believe in a UFO, I'm here to tell them they better believe in it.
Well, I know you've seen it. You experienced it right in front of you, folks. This is Ken. Ken, briefly tell your story, will you? Go ahead. Tell your story.
You want me to tell my story, Larry?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I seen a UFO within 500 foot. It landed on Tower Road in Enola, not on the road now, in a field.
Right.
That area is still there, and it looks the same as it did in 1967, except they got a few more antennas up there at the radio station. But it was something, you just have to see it to believe it. There was no lights on it, no noise, no nothing. The military was there, but I don't believe it had anything to do with the military. No, I can't be convinced of that.
Yeah, they're a little concerned.
And it just looked like a big torque converter. Now, I seen it come and I seen it leave, but it had no lights. If they wouldn't have had it lit up, you wouldn't actually know what it was except something black coming down from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a one-time thing. It was I've never seen anything like it.
And it
Again
changed.
in my whole life.
It's been in your mind for years, and I think you.
It won't go away. It'll never
No,
go away.
no.
It'll always be there. It's been there.
And you had something from them too, I believe. Was taken
Yeah,
on your back.
that was something that my wife didn't even believe me. After 50 years, I said, "Gee, there's something in my back." And she finally, I said one night, I said, "Cut it out." Well, she started and she stopped. She says, "Bleeding too much." And then the next day, I said, "Go and dig at that thing again." She says, "I can see it." And she pulled it out with a pair of tweezers.
I think I may still have that up here. I want to show the folks, but yeah, that was quite a interesting little item that came out of your back.
But even my own wife wouldn't believe me after 50 years that there was something in my back.
There it is now. I have it up on the screen, everybody. If you can see that. And that, we kind of blew it up a little bit for you. That's inside his back for many, many years. And I guess it bugged you a lot. It hurt you. And
No, there was no, but I just knew there was something there.
Yeah. You were
and when I told the first time I told the story to you, I told you there's something on me. I just feel like there's something on me.
What did your doctor say about it? Did
he said it was a piece of shrapnel.
You've never been in the war.
I knew. No, I was never in a war.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
there was a doctor.
There it is. I mean, I can't do no more than show the people what it looked like.
Yeah, I wish you could have kept that because I knew a doctor. Well, yeah, I think he passed away. He was in Santa Barbara that would take these things out of people's bodies and their legs and arms and ears and noses.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing taken out of other people.
Yeah, look just like that, man.
Yep, identical.
Yeah, well, that's some type of device that. Yeah, well, I think it's all true, and I believe your story. And we do have you on YouTube.
But you know, Larry, I had no missing time. I didn't see anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how that thing got in my back.
Right. Huh. Interesting. Well, Ken, I want to thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Yep, I'm going to let you go and let somebody else have Barbara call.
How was your visit with Randy?
It was really good, really good. We got along good. We had a hamburger together, and then before he left, we ate a piece of pie together, and it was a pretty good one.
I'm so glad you guys. This is another person that listened to me on the radio.
And then he called me and told me he made it back up there to where he was at.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful. Well, it's so much fun to meet people and in radio, and I'll tell you, it's a great world we live in.
But we had a good time. We went for a ride in the car. I showed you my area.
You show him the gator?
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't go outside. He saw the gator. He saw the gator.
He won't get out of the truck because I told him I have snakes out here. I go, come on. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah,
I told him, I said, they only come in and get in my pool every once in a while. I got to get a net and get the snakes out of the pool.
Don't tell him that. He won't go to any pool in Florida if you tell him that.
Maybe I'll send him some pictures of it. Because if I don't get them, the cat will kill them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the cat.
They're just little ring snakes, black ring snakes in there.
He don't care. He don't care what type of snake. Oh, thanks so much, Ken. Thank you for calling.
I'll get back to you later, Larry.
Okay, buddy. God bless.
Yeah, have a good one. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
my friend. Bye-bye. Great people. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you. Yeah. There's somebody trying to call in on 1113, folks. 1114 is open. 1114 is open. We'll give that call out one more time.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-14. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
And I am back. Let's take this caller. Go ahead, caller. What's your name and where are you from, please? Hello? Hello, caller. You're live on the air. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, this is Thomas. How are you?
Okay, Thomas, we can hear you. How you doing, sir? Go ahead. You're live.
Thomas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Fantastic. You're out of Texas, I see. Can you hear us, Thomas? We hear you
Pretty
fine.
Good. It seems like I got a little bit of a delay here.
Well, you may have. We have you here.
Okay, yeah, I was just calling in to make the comment. I had an experience when I was a kid. Me and a friend of mine, we lived near the hills in Whittier, and we went hiking late one night on a country road, and we saw like a strange light in the like trees and everything. And we were up above it, but we went over there. It's like, gee, what is that? As we were looking, though, all of a sudden we could hear something very large in the bushes headed for us, and it didn't sound happy. And so we just took off running. And the strange thing was, though, as we, looking back to see if something was chasing us, I didn't see anything, but the intensity of the emotion that this thing had coming up at us, I'm surprised that it didn't come up on the road. But I never forgot that, event. And, to this day, I wonder what it was. But another interest, so it got me interested in trying, in doing my own little research about UFOs and everything. But what makes it difficult, and this is kind of something, I guess, to bring it up to today, is that it's very difficult to take a picture of them now because with CGI and everything, even if you post a picture, everybody just says, well, that's just CGI. It's a fake. So, I mean, how do you prove now that even if you see a real one?
Well, Thomas, I'll tell you. Steve, what do you think about that? Go ahead, comment.
Well, there's always a bunch of skeptical people out there, and I'll tell you, it's really, really hard nowadays to prove things to people. That's why I always go back to the old pictures. If you look online and everything like that, whenever I hear anything about any alien encounters that somebody has, I always try to do my back paperwork on it and see if I can, compare it with something that happened in the past to kind of substantiate the claim a little bit,
Mr. Thomas, when you saw this craft, did you guys take any pictures, or did it cover you guys by a light? What else happened?
No, I wasn't able to take any pictures because this is when I was a kid. So that would be,
okay, yeah,
in the late 60s and early 70s. So we didn't have a camera with us.
yeah.
But that's what I was saying is, with today's technology, I think that's why you're seeing more. It's because just about everybody has a camera.
Right.
So, but also it creates an interesting situation with the UFOs is they can kind of hide in plain sight now.
In and out of clouds like peekaboo. I've seen that happen.
Right. Well, it's like, if I was to go down to the park now and see one and get a picture with my cell phone and post it on Facebook, as Steve mentioned, there's going to be a lot of people that are skeptical.
Oh, yes.
But it could be a real alien craft. But as far as proving it, how do you do that? I mean, you got the picture.
I guess there'll be witnesses, maybe. A witness maybe will help you out, or someone else takes a picture next to you with you that takes the picture. But yeah, it could be CGI. You're right. I mean, or it could be somebody could be doing a hoax on you, and
well,
put it a hologram.
How about that incident in Florida? I mean, was that actually did we actually have an event that involved extraterrestrials, or was it really kids lighting off fireworks in a mall?
Right. I was not there. I wish I would have been there to see that. I wouldn't be running. I'd be looking around saying what's going down here.
I kind of like Steve's input on that too. I mean, what does he think about that Florida mall incident?
Steve?
I'm not really up to par. I did hear a little bit about it, but I didn't really get a chance to go over it that much, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. I had a lot of folks say, it was all fake. It's just fake. But I don't know. I wasn't there. I took a couple calls from some people, said that they thought it was the real deal. So, but and I had people call me that evening, I believe it was, and they tell me the whole story. And then I hit the news the day later. I guess it wasn't a happening thing. Someone had put it on, I believe, on the media as it went down, but I wasn't sure what was going on, shooting or whatever at this mall, I guess. But there were so many police cars, and if it were fireworks, but maybe they thought it was gunfire, and they sent the troops out. So I don't know what to think on that one, to tell you the truth.
Right, and I don't either. And the interesting element, and I haven't verified it, but I heard it, was that they went to radio silence, which I find kind of interesting.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you never know. Maybe all channels clear. We got to get whatever said from whatever. There's emergency channels they all have. Maybe they needed frequencies clear because they're probably having radio problems. I don't know. I can't make excuses for them, but I mean, when stuff comes down.
It's getting interesting, though.
Times really are getting interesting. We'll see. Is it all a big ploy? Is it all something to stir us up, keep us away from politics? What's going on in the world today? Is it just get them all invested in UFOs? It gets their mind focusing. Look at the skies. You know, is the world coming to an end? Is it going to be the big from the sky? Is an asteroid going to hit us? I mean, what's next? But I think day by day, Steve, I hope you agree with me on this one. Day by day, take it day by day, and don't get too upset. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with me tonight on K-Ghost Radio FM 11.3 and 1610. And again, I want to thank all my affiliates out there and everybody that listens to me on YouTube and Facebook. Do like us, subscribe to us, please. And we do thank you so very much and look forward to having our next show. Let you both know what's coming up next. We have a gentleman that has several books out, apparently. Stolen Identity. Unveiling the real thing as in I am John F. Kennedy Jr. So it says.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But the whole book explains how he was taken, what happened. It's very interesting. And we're going to have him on next Tuesday night. And that, I believe, is the 19th. So we're working on that. So I hope you guys tune in, call in, and let us know what you think and talk with him. And it's going to be probably a 2-hour show. But we're going to push this book. It's interesting. I love stuff like this. I love all that stuff. So, you know what I'm all about. UFOs, time travel, ghosts, and stuff like conspiracies and stuff like this is fun. Again, thank you so much. Play well, everybody. God bless you. Have a great day. I am Glenn Larry on The Glenn Larry Show. Thanks so much. Gentlemen, thank you. Good night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. God bless.